Chronological Bible in a Year, day 137. How do you treat your enemies? We are back with David, and we're seeing a bunch of people who have risen up against him. First, we see David interact with a man named Shimei, someone from the line of Benjamin, the family of King Saul. Shimei is hurling insults and literal stones at David, and his men are like, should we go kill this guy? We could kill him, right? And David says no, that the curses could be from the Lord. Perhaps God is speaking through this man. Who am I to question God? Perhaps one day God will see my hardship and the goodness of God will return. That's not how I respond to insults. We then see another enemy of David, Ahithophel, who was once one of the greatest advisors in his court, now giving really bad advice to Absalom. At first, I'm like, is this guy a traitor and he's trying to secretly help David? And we learn, nope, it's just David prayed that his counsel would be stupid, and God is making his counsel stupid. But the real traitor in the midst is like, that's a bad idea. Let's do this instead, and gives an equally bad but less obviously bad idea. And so Ahithophel is like, all right, I guess my story's over, gets everything in order, hangs himself. But then Absalom follows the advice of the true traitor in the midst. We get some like cartoon level spycraft, borderline hilarious. Then we see the defeat of Absalom in chapter 18. David tells his men, if at all possible, don't hurt Absalom. We don't know what David had in store for his son turned traitor, but he didn't want his son dead. In the course of the war, Joab, one of the leaders of David's armies, sees Absalom hanging from a tree, his donkey having gotten him stuck. Again, cartoon hilarity. And then Joab takes 3 spears, and him and his men kill Absalom. And when David hears this, David weeps for his son. And chapter 18 ends with him saying, my son Absalom, if only I had died instead of you, Absalom, my son, my son. This is your son who tried to kill you and take your kingdom. Imagine if we looked at our enemies the same way David looked at his enemies, not as people to be conquered, defeated, and killed, but as people who need to be restored to a right relationship with God and man. Imagine if instead of hurling stones and insults at our enemies, we hurled prayers and petitions for them towards God. So maybe here's a question. What is a step we can take to treat our enemies the way David treated his enemies? I would love to hear your thoughts. How can we treat our enemies the way David treats them in view of God? I'm looking forward to jumping back into the Psalms tomorrow. But until then, God bless.